Hi, this is Miss Andrea. I'm here in Invention Convention at the Children's Museum of Houston, and I am going to be doing a project with you for National Engineers Week, and it is sponsored by Chevron. So what we're going to do today is the balloon cars. So we're using a little bit of our science, right? Newton's law, for every action, there's an opposite but equal reaction. So we are going to take our knowledge of that, and we are going to use balloons to power our balloon cars. So the air that's inside of the balloon will escape out, so it will push in one direction, and as we know, opposite but equal reaction will make the car go in the opposite direction with the same amount of force. So I wanted to make sure to use materials that you have at your house. I've avoided using the hot glue just because I don't want anybody to burn themselves. And you can make your car from basically anything. So we can start with just using a regular drinking water bottle and taking off the little label, or we could use cardboard, or we could use an egg, or we could use a toilet paper roll. See what I mean? You can really just use about anything. But let's start with the car so you can kind of get an idea. So we're going to make this our car, and at home you can use scissors to make the holes that you need. You can make holes inside of the plastic and put your axle. So we're going to use wood skewers, like kitchen skewers, for the axles, and you can just put them straight through the holes that you make. Or you can do what I did, which was I used the straw, and I'll show you that in a minute, to put my axles in. So I didn't have to cut through the plastic bottle. And the problem with it is you have to make sure that they're even. If they're kind of one's higher up than the other, then your wheel's going to be kind of wonky. So that's why I prefer to use the straw. The one thing you will need to make a hole on is at the top where your straw is going to go through. Because your straw is going to go through here and it's going to come out through here. Let me show you what it looks like. So you need to make a hole here. You can make them with your scissors, or science is fun, but it can be dangerous. And so you always want to have an adult helping you. Your adult helper can help with this. They can take a box cutter and make a hole through here. It's much easier to make your hole if the top is on. And that is because the air that's in there helps the bottle to keep its shape while you make that hole. If you try and do it when it's not, the top's not on there, it's going to get squishy. So you take your scissors, make a hole about so big, and then you're going to add your wheels. So this is the way I did my wheels. I already had these wheels, but you can also make wheels from just about anything. You can make them from the soda top, and I'll show you that, or the water bottle top, and I'll show you that in a minute. What I did was I took my wood skewer and then I put a little piece of tape. You see the little tape that's on here? It's to keep the wheel from moving. And then I put another piece of tape on the outside, and that is to keep the wheel from coming off. So once I had that, I put it through my straw. I put my straw through there, and then I did my other wheel. So now I have my wheel and axle, and it rotates pretty well through that straw. So then I took my tape, and I put the straw, taped the straw to the car. You want to try and make it straight as you can, because if you don't, it's going to go either to the left or to the right in circles. So you want to make it pretty straight. And you want to make it like on the same level as the other one. So let's take a look at the wheels. Looks pretty good right there. So that takes care of the wheel part of your car. And all you've used is, if you use the tops, then you've used a water bottle, the water bottle tops, and a wood skewer and a straw. So that's pretty easy. And now you're going to take your straw, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut a piece of tape, and you're going to tape this. You do not want air to escape, and so I would put more than one piece of tape. Put one to get your straw attached, like that. And then I would use another piece of tape to make sure that air is not going to escape, because that will cause you a problem. So once you have that, you should be able to get your balloon filled up. Oh, I can see there's a problem. So you don't want there to be any kinks because you want that balloon, the air to be able to come out really fast. That's not working. So I'm going to do another one. Let me do another one. So the problem that I had there, just so that you can avoid the problem, is that I scrunched up the balloon too much. So this is the thing with engineering. With engineering, you're using really simple materials, things that don't cost a lot of money, and you never, ever say, I give up. Because the whole point is to try something, and if it doesn't work, try it again. The issue with a problem is that it gives you an opportunity to problem solve. So now you know what the problem is, you know not to do that again. So you actually learn something from it, and that is a great, great engineering tool. Problem solving. Figuring out what doesn't work is just as important as figuring out what does work. And a lot of times it'll take a lot of tries on something to figure out what works. And then once you get it to work, then you figure out how to improve it and make it even cooler. And I'll show you some of the things that I tried once I got it to work. So I'm going to put the straw in here, and remember, action reaction. The air is going to come out this side. So which way will the car go? If the air is coming this way, then the car should go that way, right? So let's tape this down to avoid the straw flying off. And you can also tape it up here if you'd like to make sure that it's going to be stay in place. Cut you a piece of tape. I like using electrical tape, but you can really use any tape that you like. The electrical tape just seems to lend itself well to this project. Okay, now you're going to fill up your fuel. I can hear a little bit of air escaping, but there should be enough in there to do this. So I actually built a parachute for my car for when it goes off the table like that, but it didn't work because it's not high enough. But I thought it'd be cute. That's a good engineering thing. You might even do it further up. I like this project too because you could do a balloon boat using the same kind of reasoning, same kind of science. For every action, there's opposite but equal reaction. Now, I played around with the materials. So you can make the car out of anything. You can make the wheels out of everything. This is the reason I like this project, because there's so many things you could change with it that I thought, wow, I wonder if a big straw would work. So I tried it with a big straw. And what I found is that the big straw actually works pretty good. So I found the big straws work pretty well. And then I found these, because I collect stuff that I think I might be able to use later. And I thought that they would come into use. And what this is like the cover for a syringe. And you probably won't find a cover for a syringe, but I found something that's very similar. This is from a sports drink. And see how I found that if you have the larger amount of air coming in and funneling out through a small part of the syringe, it will make it go faster. And so this is something very similar. So you could try something like that. And this is what I mean about keep changing it and see what works and what doesn't. So let's try this one. This one will put a lot more air in this little area, and then it'll concentrate it all there. So let's see what happens. Oops, I need to have it on. And remember, whichever way it's pointing, that's the way that it's going to go. So make sure that you've got it pointing the way you want. I think I'd like to try this one on the floor. Let's try it on the floor. Okay, so now that we tried that one, I want to show you another simple one. I like this one because it's lower to the ground, it's more stable. The problem is because it is so low to the ground, the balloon, remember that the air comes this way, so the car will go that way. And when the balloon is so big, it will drag in front of it. So I picked it up. I put a little cup, and you could pick it up even further. You could even make like a little stand where you make a hole here that the straw goes through, and you could put that up there. And then we're going to try this one out too. Now, notice my wheels. The way that I made my wheels is that I took My sisters, if you have an adult that can help you, they could use a drill bit. I would say parents, 1/8 inch drill bit, and make the holes for you. Now the good thing about the tops is they have a little bump right in the middle, and so you know that's right in the center. So you could take your scissors, or you could take also a nail or an awl, AWL, and make that little hole. And then once you make that little hole, you can take your skewer and you can put your skewer through it. And the same way I did on my car, I put tape so I wouldn't have to use hot glue, and I put my straw, and now I can make my wheels turn very easily. So I like this because it's low to the ground, it's more stable. Because it's wide, it's not as likely to flip over. And so we're gonna try this one too. Now, notice I'm using my big balloon because my big straw, because I really like the big straws. I think that the air comes out a lot faster through there. So we're gonna try this one. Okay, so I started getting all crazy and I started thinking, what else could I use? What else could I use? I used a toilet paper roll. And these are the tops for ice cream. So I did the same thing. I made a little hole and I pushed it through, and then I used my tape to keep the wheel from moving. And then I used bigger tops. Instead of water bottle tops, I used juice tops for the front. And I really like this combination. And so let's try this one. Now this one's a little bit more unstable, but I kind of like it because it's like weird. Okay, so I really like this one, but I have all kinds of materials. I thought, oh, look, what about this? I have this big tubing. And so I decided this is kind of like the straw. What if I use the tubing? So let's try this one. So I hope you enjoyed that. There are so many different combinations of things that you can do and try. You could even make a car out of Easter egg. I could see putting this on there. Maybe even just 2 wheels. Or you could use a popsicle stick and using the same kind of method, putting the little wheels on it, and then you want to put the balloon where it's a little higher so it won't drag. So these are all things that you can learn while you're doing it. But I love it because it really is not taking very much material. And the problem solving is just, as you run across a problem, you just figure out what's the better way to do it. And that's what's really useful. So I hope that you try some of these, not just mine, but yours. Like, I could even imagine, what happens if you put 2 balloons? You could attach them on the sides and put 2 balloons here, and I don't know what happened because I haven't tried it yet. You should try these. Try every combination you can. Play around with it. Figure out if you want it to go far or you want it to go fast. And what do you need to do to make it do either one of those things? There's so many things you can do with this. I love this project. This is Miss Andrea signing out.